God.
God, grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today.
All right.
Started smoking pot around 12 years old. I started drinking around that age too.
I started doing drugs around the age with my uncle.
About the age of 13, I started committing crimes. About the age of 10, I started using marijuana, started drinking about 12. 14, started using pills.
I started messing with weed, marijuana, drinking when I was 10.
I started using drugs, mainly marijuana, at the age of 13.
I started using drugs when I was 18. I started using drugs at the age of 11. I started selling drugs at the age of 12 to support my habit. And I started using it more on a day-to-day basis at 12 years old.
The use of methamphetamine and other associated drugs is tragic. I mean, just in our facility alone, housing nearly 200 inmates, the financial burdens placed on the community and the county as a whole is tremendous compared to what it used to be in the past. When I first started the sheriff's office in 1977, we might have had half a dozen prisoners. Now we have 200. We have to feed them, medicate them, and of the 200 inmates on an average, 80% are drug related or issues revolving from the use of drugs. Again, drug related. The burglaries, the thefts, the domestic issues are mostly drug related.
LAM is a rehabilitation program for the jail. It's called a community model program. And the community model program is a 24/7 drug rehabilitation program which has classes from 8:30 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, which has classes ranging from anger management to employment assistance to drug education. It's firmly based in the 12-step program. We have an outside 12-step program that comes in on Tuesday nights. We are literally trying to form a new community of recovering addicts in the jail so that when they are released from jail or prison, that they have a group, a safe group to be with, to go to.
It's awesome. I came in, I didn't know if they set me or not because I couldn't hardly read right stuff. With the help of group members, the landlord, I've taken me a minute here, but
You're fine. Take all the time you need.
they've helped me read and write. I'm going to get my GED. Like I said, it's awesome.
That's great.
I know that God brought me here for a reason because most people in here know I tried to take my life and I was at a bad place in my life, which was becoming very normal for me. And I felt like there was no reason for me to be here. And this class has made me realize that there is a reason for me to be here. And, I thought nobody loved me, but I learned and realized that people like me.
You're right. I mean, I have always wanted to stop. I'd always wanted to live a life where, my dreams became reality. I knew that I felt that I wasn't supposed to be a drug addict. I felt that, but I started to accept that. After, a good solid 10 years of using it, just, okay, this is it. And once there's many times before that I tried to change, and I asked for help, and it just ultimately led me back to using. And what was different this time is that the Peter Hassan, the director of LAM, head stuck by my side, you know, from the first time that I met him all the way to the present, you know. And that's important to me. You know, I was shown and given tools to apply to my life to put forth the change that I always desired.
Probably 36 hours right after I got out of jail, and I already had the old friends coming over trying to get me high, let's go party. I mean, that's my past. I mean, that's all I did. I mean, that's all I knew. Like this whole legal legit thing, it's new to me and I'm just learning. But I mean, you just don't give up. I mean, stay going the right way. And, I mean, I got a conscience now. Before I didn't have a conscience, I'll go do this, and who cares if it hurts this guy? I mean, I got what I wanted. But now there's repercussions for my actions, and I mean, it helps out a lot. Basically, what the program did is it made me a grown-up.
These people are your neighbors. These people are your cousins. These people are your brothers and sisters. These people are your members of your human family. And as Christians, we look at these people and we say, we're going to reach out to them because their dignity and their survival is at stake. When there's one person from our community who is suffering, we all suffer. And as Christians, if we don't believe that, then I don't believe we're truly Christian. We have to look at everyone with compassion. We have to be smart about how we do that, but we have to look at everyone and say, you know, if not for the grace of God, that's me.
I realize now that since I've been in the Lamb community that the foundation on the outside is not that stable, so I know now that I got to go to a halfway house or something like that to get on solid ground before I can reenter back into my family's life, because they're still in active addiction. And if I get back out there, that's something I don't need. Me personally, I'm not strong enough as of right now to get back out there and be around drugs, so I know I got to go to a halfway house or hopefully a Lamb house or something like that, so when I get out I can get back on a good foundation and then go and start rebuilding the relationship again with my family.
One of the hardest things for them is there's so many people that don't have any place to go. Literally, there are people that walk out of the jail with no money, no job. They can't go back to the same friends. They can't go back to their family. They don't have a house. They don't have a car. They don't have a driver's license. And it's nearly impossible for those people without support to stay clean. So in the future, that's why we're wanting to start a Lamb house, where somebody that doesn't have any other resources can come to that house and get back on their feet. They give them time to find a job, you know, to get a car, to find an apartment. And so many of the women are working to get their kids back. So they have DCS that they have several things that they have to do in order to earn the right to get their kids back in their life. And a Lamb house would be an awesome help for that.
And we are working toward opening up a halfway house for the men and women. And we are excited about the prospect of having a central place for both groups so that they can continue the progress that they made in the jail, and they can continue to have that camaraderie and that fellowship that they learned to enjoy, many of them for the first times in their lives.
It's a program that you have to establish the faith in the inmates to begin with, and once you establish the faith, they get a different outlook on life. Their drug issues, their burglary issues are not so much of an issue at this point. They're focusing their energies toward positive areas, and you can't do that if you don't have the faith to move on from there.
The main denominator to success in this program is people getting in touch with their higher power, and I call mine God. He has brought me more peace to myself than I've ever known in the last 30 years. It's just like all these burdens were lifted. I mean, I give the program credit for getting me to this point, but God is what actually brings me peace within.
Well, the first step says that we come to a point that we realize we can't do it on our own. The second step is that we recognize there's a higher power who is there, that gives hope. The third step is that we give ourselves over to that higher power, that we realize we're not running our lives very well. And the truth is, that's the gospel message. All of us have to come to that point. And so the 12-step program that is being followed by LAM is a way for a person to find new hope, new life, and to begin a life on a new road. Some people call it being born again. And I think it's encouraging, and I know it works because I've seen people work it.
There's been several women who have come into the program that probably didn't even believe there was a God, who ended up being some of my strongest believers and teaching other people. They started a prayer circle in the jail in the pod with all the women, not just LAM, but all the women at night. They read their Bibles every day, and I would say most of the girls who have gotten out now attend church somewhere.
We've instituted the female program at this point, which is a great factor because I'm not aware of too many programs in southern Indiana that is offered. Unfortunately, the female population within our facility keeps rising, and we have to focus some energies on that, because with the females, you're affecting children and everybody else. I'm not saying that fathers are being affected, but when you start affecting the mothers, you're affecting 3 to 4 people normally in a minimum situation. So I'd like to see that continue growing.
The recidivism rate at the Knox County Jail for the year 2006 to 2009 was 66%. Currently, our rate of recidivism for the LAM inmates is 14.7%.
It's hard, and I think that the reason why most people don't make it is because it is hard, More people relapse than not, because it's easy to relapse. If this was easy, more people would do it. So I just want them to just stay positive and know that they got people they can rely on and talk to whenever things get rough. And the people who support LAM and give us our donations and stuff like that is greatly appreciated, because without our curriculum, LAM wouldn't be LAM.
I mean, they're really helping us. They really help me, and I don't know. It's done good things in my life, and it could do good things in other people's life if they're allowed to continue to do what they do, because they're good at it.
I'm most looking forward to having success stories, people who get out, stay clean, get a job, have a house, the women that get their children back, families put back together, and lives being changed.
Given the encouragement, they really do want to be better parents, they want to be better employees, they want to be better people if they're given that second chance.
We're trying to put these people back to work, so they're not out feeding their habits, they're out there feeding their families. And when they can do that, then what we're doing is we're doing something that is beneficial to our community.
Ask you to look away. I love my hands, but it hurts to pray. The life I have isn't what I'd seen. The sky's not blue and the field's not green.